Hello. Today we're going to take a look at Kami, just a quick introduction, how to upload different documents, how to edit the document using some of your tools, as well as how to integrate into Google Classroom. So, when you're starting out with Kami, you want to make sure that you have this Kami extension installed on Google Chrome. If you don't, you can access it right from the Chrome Web Store. I prefer to start when I'm thinking in terms of a Google Classroom assignment. I like to start from Kami's actual website. So this is the regular login page. I have it bookmarked on my bookmarks bar, which I recommend you do if Kami is something you're going to frequently visit. Now you can see that you have the option to open from a variety of sources, including Google Drive, OneDrive, your computer. You can immediately create a classroom assignment. I prefer to work within Kami first and then assign to Google Classroom after. Now, I also like to start with this OCR. This allows Kami to recognize text in a PDF document. This means that students with accommodations can actually have Kami read to them, and you don't have to worry about jumping around and reading to your students. So I'm going to click OCR. I can drag and drop a file or go right to my Google Drive. So I have an assignment in my Kami folder called My Smart Goals. I use this a lot for my training sessions in my classroom with students. I click Next, and it's going to take a few seconds or longer, depending on how busy Kami is. So that way, every single word in your document is readable by Kami. Now you can download it, and that's it. Your document is readable. You can put it back into Google Drive. I'm going to export to Kami so that way I can continue editing. Open that on up. And there we go. Oh, don't need that. Not yet anyway. So I've got my SMART goal document. It's a PDF. But if I go over to read aloud and highlight, I can have Kami read to me. You can have it read the whole document, specific sections, whatever your kids need. Now, you can't edit the text in the PDF, which can be a little bit frustrating, but there is a workaround. So here I've got check in person. This was relevant for one of the sessions that I ran, but it's not relevant for what I'm doing now. So I can create a text box, and instead I just want it to say name. Now, if I change the background to white, I can move this over my existing text. So while I'm not actually editing the text or getting rid of it, it's like it's not there, and I can change different things to say what I need it to say. Some other important tools to notice are under markup, you have some really nice highlighter tools. So let's say that I want to remember that my goals need to be specific. So I'm going to highlight specific, and it will actually recognize the text. I can also do freehand, but that can be a little bit sloppier. It's just your choice and your student's preference. Back to text boxes, you can use those, your students can use those to type right in the boxes. So what do I want to accomplish? I want to learn how to use Kami tools to make lessons more engaging for students. And you can edit the font size, the size of the box to make it fit. Like in my example, I want it to fit within my graphic organizer. So I'm just going to make my font a little bit smaller. Additionally, there are math equation tools. So students can either use the drawing if they just want to, let's say, make an X for multiplication. You can change this to be different levels of thickness or transparency. So I don't want it transparent at all. But if they want specific symbols that are typed out, they have a bunch of different options here depending on their grade level. They'll use different symbols. You want to make sure that you're in a brand new text box and it'll allow you to insert symbols. Additionally, there are different shape tools. And I love that the math shapes will give you angles. And you can also erase. I don't need that. I don't need that triangle. They can do all sorts of different things, and so can you when you're editing your tools. The one other function that I wanted to point out in this video is the comment feature. Students and you can leave text comments, voice comments, video comments, or actually capture their screen and show you their work. So let's say I wanted to do a video comment. I click or select anywhere on the page. So I have to think about my measurable goal. So you can see my face pops up, and I'm going to leave a message to myself. Liz, remember that your SMART goal needs to be measurable. So think about how you're going to make that happen. Now it's done. There I am, and I can leave a reply to myself or to a student. I can say collect data from student work and keep brainstorming like that. So Kami has a ton of features that I didn't cover today, too much to get into in an introductory video, but I do want to show you how to assign a Kami doc into a Google Classroom. So if you click on your menu, you'll see there's this G, Create Assignment. Now, right from Kami, you have access to your Google Classroom if you allow Kami to access Google Classroom and back and forth. So I'm going to select my Tech Tip class. I don't want it graded. I'm going to call it SMART Goal, and you can leave instructions. It automatically jumps to make a copy for each student, which is recommended. If the students share one copy, you'll have all editing in one spot. This might be good if you want groups of students to collaborate. So let's say you're assigning only to 2 or 3, but for a whole class, it might be a little overwhelming. So that just depends on your assignment and your outcomes. When I go to assign, there's also this feature restrictions option. So here, you can change which features your students have access to. So let's say with the SMART goal, we don't need equations. That's not necessary for the SMART goal. They don't need to insert shapes, and I don't want my students to be able to insert images. It's just not relevant. So now when they open this document, those features will not be accessible to them. And you can change that for each assignment anytime you do it based on your outcomes and your needs. So then I assign. It's saving to my Google Drive. It'll pop up in my Kami folder. It'll take a minute to think, as the internet likes to do. And now my assignment's created and I can open it right in my classroom. I selected to have a student guide available. And here is my SMART goal template that my students have access to. And with the extension, I can open in Kami. So just to recap, we took a look at how to make a document readable using the OCR tool. We looked at how to upload a file from Google Drive. We did a brief dive into some of Kami's tools, and we looked at how to upload a Kami assignment as a Google Classroom assignment. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and good luck creating your Kami assignment.